You won't believe what one Ontario town is doing to fix the housing crisis. They're literally handing out $12,000 in cash if you build an extra unit on your property. And another town, they're selling land for $500. Yeah, that's real talk. I'm Linda, one of the Ragona sisters, and around here, we keep it real. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what the headlines won't tell you. Here's what we're getting into today. Cash incentives in Ajax for building rentals, free land in Northern Ontario, Toronto's new plug-and-play plans for garden suites, and why, despite all this, hardly anyone's actually building. Okay, let's start local. Ajax just dropped a bomb, a program called Build More, Get More. If you're a homeowner and you add a basement apartment, a garden suite, or even convert your garage into a living space, you could get back up to $12,000 back. That's right, $2,000 for the first unit and then up to $4,000 per unit after that. Sounds amazing, right? Not exactly. Except here's the twist. Almost no one's taking the money because the cost to build is still brutal. Permits take forever and most people are just flat out scared to commit. And I get it. We're living in a market where nothing feels stable. But then you look up north, Smooth Rock Falls, never heard of this place until now. Suddenly it's like, wait, what's going on there? They sold town-owned land for as little as $500. That's not a typo, and this is in Canada, not Europe. They offered up to 90% off lots to attract newcomers after their mill shut down, and the response, wild. Calls from China, Australia, people flying in to see if they want to invest. One developer snapped up all 15 lots in 1 week. And now the town's doing another round, same deal, another dozen lots up for grabs. It's kind of brilliant. No fluff, no delays, just here's the land, come build. Meanwhile, back in Toronto, we're dealing with a different issue. The city's trying to play catch up with a new incentive, free pre-approved building plans for laneway and garden suites.
But the City of Toronto says homeowners can access free pre-approved construction plans to build garden and laneway dwellings on their properties. These detached secondary homes are separate housing units located on the property of a primary residence, either in the backyard or next to a public laneway.
You don't need to hire an architect or a planner because these drawings and plans are already complied with the Ontario Building Code.
You literally download the plans online. No architect, no planner, just pull the permit and start building. Mayor Olivia Chow says it'll save time and money, which we love, but
this is a necessary policy change to allow these units to be built. But in terms of building enough housing in the city to accommodate everyone who wants to live here at affordable prices, it's just a small drop in the bucket.
In fact, according to Mayor Chow, garden suites have been approved in the city since 2022, but only 114 have been constructed so far, which raises questions about efficiency, pointing back to last week's Sixplexes debate, where council voted to allow the multi-unit housing in only 9 wards as opposed to citywide, leaving the other 16 to have to opt in, ultimately impacting the city's ability to access federal housing funding.
I don't believe a top-down way of doing things will mean that people are going to rush out and build housing. It hasn't worked. What we're doing today, is practical, make it simpler, cheaper, faster for people to build.
Reality check. Since these types of units were approved in 2022, only 114 have actually been built. In a city of over 3 million people, that's embarrassing. Coming up, I'll show you why these programs sound great on paper but aren't working in practice. Here's the real issue. New Zealand and Canada just ranked among the top 10 countries to work in, but here, people can't even find a job. Buyers are spooked, Sellers are frozen, and even with all these flashy incentives, most folks are holding back. And honestly, I don't blame them. I've had buyers call me, say they're ready to offer, and then they vanish. It's completely being ghosted. That used to be rare, now it's weekly. Why? Because nobody wants to take a big financial risk in an unstable economy. Tariffs are still here, they're still on the table, interest rates are still high for some, and inflation is wearing down everyone. Coming up, I'll break down why small towns like Smith Rock Falls are actually winning right now. The genius of what Smith Rock Falls did, it was simple. They didn't wait around for approvals or federal funding or some grand housing strategy. They just made it easy for people to show up and invest. And you know what? People did. It's a reminder that this housing crisis isn't just about supply, it's about access, about who's able to build and where and how easily. And in bigger cities like Toronto or Vaughan, that's where we're failing. But if you're watching this and you're a homeowner and just thinking about building a rental unit or helping your kids get ahead, you've got options. Programs like Ajax build more, get more pre-approved plans from the city, and yes, wild cards like $500 land up north. If you want to talk strategy, run numbers, or even figure out what your property could support, we've got your back. And next week, we're digging into why Toronto just blocked 6 plexes in over half the city, and how that's going to mess with housing supply all over again. Make sure you subscribed. You don't want to miss the next one. Thank you for watching and have a good one.